Hello, everybody, and welcome to Go F.O.C. Yourself. I am your host on these Fridays, Brandon, and we will, as always, be going through all of the various items that are on final order cutoff this week. That includes things like Geiger, Jeff Johns' big post, "Hey, I've been DC's big guy forever, DC's big boy forever," and venturing off into fields of his own. But yeah, of course, there's a lot to talk about, so we'll get right to it. Get right to it-ish. I do like a little doing a little update for folks here at the top. Day's been going pretty well. Having a weird brain day. Not a sad brain day, but one of those days where your brain is not feeling great, not feeling bad, but it's just sitting there in the middle, and it's and it'll occasionally whisper like, "Hey, I could make this a bad day. I won't, but I could." So just feeling that all day of just like, my brain kind of checks in with me and is just like, "Yo, should I fuck things up? No? Chill. But maybe I will anyways. Or I won't." So that's been interesting. Hate it. But, what can you do? All right, let's get to showing all that good stuff. Get you on those F.O.Cs at Diamond. Is that working? That's working. So, as always, up top, we got Image Comics coming in with some continuing series. I know Deep Beyond is one of our favorites. Always keep an eye out because they will add covers. So if you're looking for any covers in particular, definitely let us know. The page to go to, as you might be able to tell, maybe not. The address to go to look at all of these in bigger images and maybe follow along is previewsworld.com/finalordersdue. And that's where you can find all of this pretty stuff. All right. So like I said at the top, Geiger's coming out from Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. You might know them from Doomsday Clock or their series of Batman Earth 1 graphic novels that they've been doing together. The big DC guys, and they're doing their own deal. Who are the scavengers of a dying Earth? Geiger is set in the years since a nuclear war ravaged the planet. Desperate outlaws battle for survival in a world of radioactive chaos. Out past the poisoned wasteland lives a man even the night crawlers and organ people fear. Some name him Joe Glow. Others call him the Meltdown Man, but his name is Geiger. So he's like a glowy boy. This book's going to be fairly serious, as you can see. The B cover is actually kind of neat because it's got sort of that retro comics feel to it, with like a 70s style banner up top. And yeah, you can also get a Jason Fabric cover, a blank sketch, and a glow in the dark. So apparently when this glows in the dark, this dude's face and some other parts here kind of glow green. So that's really cool. Inkblot is back for the second story arc. For those of you who don't know Inkblot, it is one of our favorite books. The first volume is available for a scant $13.50 Canadian. Basically about a young chaos kitten, more or less. Yeah, it's a cat that can kind of mess with time and space, which is a thing that you don't really want cats to have the power to do. And it does it real good. And it's very cute, and it goes meow all the time. And we super adore the series. The second arc is starting up, so it's something to keep an eye out for. If that intrigues you, the first arc will be in your hands very soon. Looks like things are getting taken care of over at the store because Danica is working there doing awesome stuffs, helping out some customers. All right. We also have the launch of Silver Coin. Number 1, this one will actually have a bunch of different writers throughout the series, but a unifying artist, which is a different tactic for a book. I'm pretty excited about it because we are kicking things off with a Chip Zdarsky penned outing. Different collaborators going forward are going to include Kelly Thompson, who is one of our favorites, Ed Brisson, Jeff Lemire, and I believe Michael Walsh might do the final book as well. But here is the pitch for you. Each issue will tell a tale of horror in a shared supernatural world. The story starts in 1978 with a failing rock band whose fortune suddenly changes when they find the mysterious silver coin. Little do they know that fame comes at a cost, and a curse is always hungry. So a nice curse book to kind of like give you some spookums in your heart. Got some really great covers here from Michael Walsh, Tula Lote, and I need to Maria Nguyen. And it is one creepy freaking looking cover, let me tell you. The second issue of Noctera is coming out, so if you did enjoy the first, definitely let us know. We could start up a subscription for you, get things rocking and rolling. Noctera, we still have some of the first issue in stock. It's basically about a world where if you stay in the darkness too long, you turn into a monster creature. And it's about this young woman who is a transport on getting people from place to place without them, turning into monsters. So yeah, good times. What else we got? We got Dark Horse bringing back Beasts of Burden. For those of you who don't know, Beasts of Burden is an incredible horror series about a bunch of animals who basically solve supernatural horror crimes. Bad things are happening at this place called Burden Hill, and these animals are basically keeping everybody safe from dying and whatnot. It is basically like a bit kind of like a Homeward Bound meets Buffy, except the animals are already home, obviously. And yeah, it's a kind of a brilliant brilliantly put together series that I'm always excited to see come back. I love what's happening here. While I'm out on the digital streets talking about new comics to get, Danica is at the store rocking through some sales, including something called Giant Days, which is absolutely one of our favorites too. As she says here, Giant Days is just this beautiful series about a friendship between 3 young women off at British University, and it's so fun and full of life. And to have people, it was nice having the people in that story. It felt like we're hanging out every now and then, once a month, checking in with some pals who are going through some ups and some downs, and always got into some interesting situations. Dead Dog's Bite number 2 is coming out. This is a book that shocked me. I was willing to enjoy it based off the premise. It is outstanding. It is basically what if Matt Fraction was doing sort of like a Hawkeye style story. So his and David Aha's Hawkeye run is nice and stylized, telling these great stories with a lot of nice design in the panel layouts, and just basically about people kind of struggling to survive. Well, this is kind of like that. It's like if that style was applied to a Coen Brothers movie, and it's got a really nice hook for a murder mystery in a small town, and is just like slightly weird, slightly odd, and very affecting. It's a book that I'm super excited to get into your hands, whether that's in single issues or in collected edition. I personally am waiting for the collected edition because there's no back matter. I try to support comic products with my own particular money, not just the store money, that sort of have a value add in the single issues. So right now I am actually buying a fair amount of DC stuff because they have these nice backup stories that I'm not even sure if, like, will they be collected? We're not exactly sure. And I'm getting more out of the worlds when I do that. Or like books like when Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips were doing single issues still, all of their series would have 4 or 5 pages of back matter, which would be like a check-in from Ed Brubaker, and then usually an essay about some crime noir or whatever theme was going on in their book at that time. So really love all that stuff. Anyways, long story short, Dead Dogs Bite, whatever format you want it. Because it's outstanding. Just one of my absolute favorites. And let's see here. As a reminder, because I'm seeing Fear Case number 3 here, we do not shelf third issues of things anymore. So keep that in mind while you're going through. It's far and few in between that we're shelving something. Basically, shelving means that we would have it on shelf and not just in our pull files for standard subscriptions and whatnot, and special requests. So you won't see it out on our shelves, basically. No matter how great a book is, basically. Small exceptions include just a small handful of books that we know need a little bit more time to get people hooked in. And giving folks the option to kind of like latch onto something if that book's coming out faster than like once every couple months, All right. Ooh, a new volume of Space Boy is up. Space Boy is one of my favorite comics, full stop, right now. You can read it for free on Webtoon to see if it's to your tastes. It is about a young girl who goes back to Earth after having grown up in a mining colony way out in space. She's essentially through this displaced about 30 years because to travel such distances, people are frozen and essentially refreshed at their new destination so that they don't lose any time. But the world still continues on. And so she's behind on a lot of things, and she doesn't quite understand Earth culture, and is also like fascinated by snow because snow doesn't happen in space. So it's about that, and then it's about some interpersonal relationships and a mysterious young boy who goes to school with her. One of the things I absolutely love about the series is the main character describes people through flavors, through tastes, from the emotions that she gets from them. So she might describe someone as like a cinnamony or just general flavors like avocado with a pinch of salt or some things like that. And every time they describe a character, they're completely on with the emotions that are there. So it's a really good book for a lot of reasons. I love talking about it. IDW is finally, and in partnership with DC, is finally getting around to their Lock and Key Sandman crossover. So if you want to see what it's like when Neil Gaiman's Sandman collides headfirst into the world of Lock and Key, that's something that you're going to want to get your mitts on. That is almost all the description you need, but I'm still going to go into it here. You think you can unlock the gates of hell and just invite yourself in? You must be dreaming. The epic crossover between two of the most beloved fantasy universes in comics is here. John Jack Locke is 10 years dead, but that hasn't stopped him from posting the occasional letter home from hell. Now Mary Locke will do anything to save her brother's soul, including cut a deal with Roderick Burgess, the most evil man in England, to search for answers in the House of Mystery and risk the walking nightmare known as the Corinthian to find help in disintegrating kingdom of dreams. Oh, to find help in a disintegrating kingdom of dreams. Reading. I can do it. Sometimes, maybe. Oh, Beast Wars, baby. All right. Second issue of the new America Chavez series is out. Has also some spectacular covers. Really enjoying that series, that character. Always enjoy that character. Makes me smile. And we've got some second prints coming out here with Marvel's loading up a little bit. Got some Avengers 43 second print action. And you got a bunch of other covers for Avengers 44, including a Moko cover, which I know a lot of people really enjoy her artwork. So that's always a special little hey. Please be aware. Speaking of, the second printing of X-Men Demon Days is coming out. We will probably be fairly light on that one because we still have first printings in the store. So be aware of that. If you want this version of the cover, better to ask a little bit in advance. The Death of Captain America omnibus is getting reissued. This is something that people have been waiting for a long time. It's basically a lot of what you'll probably be getting in Falcon Winter Soldier after Captain America has retired in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We've got Excalibur's first giant hardcover from Teenie Howard. And a few other collections, including another Fantastic Four from Dan Slott. This Daredevil by Chip Zdarsky Volume 1, probably my favorite superhero book coming out right now because of the way that it builds. All the characters are set out on their own journeys, and their moralities and beliefs kind of come colliding in at certain points, and it's really well done how different events build to a fever pitch, and then all of these people collide in and then scatter outwards again and then just swirl back in again, and just like it's been wonderful. The first volume is back on final order cutoff because Marvel and Diamond have been doing this thing where when there's going to be a reprint, they'll ask retailers if they want copies so that those print runs can be stronger. Not a terrible idea. We just don't order through Diamond. So we use those as excuses to make inquiries at our other distributors. Thank you, Diamond. That's the same situation with this Immortal Hulk #1 here. King in Black #5 is finally going to come out. It's a big one. Lots of bonkersness. There's some spoiler covers that will not be shown, not even to us, until we get there, and there's a big old wraparound. There's a lot of covers. Let's put it this way. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 regular covers, because this program does not show the qualified variants, which I'm actually okay with, because our goal here is to sell you on the story and get you into some cool stuff that you might not have known about. And yes, a lot of times cool covers are also a part of it. But, you know, a cool cover comes around every now and then. The stories that they're telling are are the things that are going to endure and get you kind of deeper into a world and more into what's happening. Marvel is doing a tiny Loki graphic novel, which is going to include a smattering of different Loki stories. These are usually tasters. We don't tend to order these because they are fairly random, and a lot of people are looking for a full story instead of like a bunch of little ones. But it is a good way, a good little taster for folks looking for stuff. The Squadron Supreme Marvel Tales. The Marvel Tales line is basically a small, essentially inexpensive reprints of collected editions. So this one has the first Squadron Supreme stories in them when the Avengers first meet them in Avengers 69 and 70 and 85 and 86. And yeah, the Squadron Supreme is sort of like Marvel's take on Justice League. As you can see, there's your Superman character, there's your Wonder Woman character, there's your Batman style character. And they're always interesting when they show up. They're redoing this because Heroes Reborn is going to feature them as the main superhero team of the Marvel universe. X Factor by Peter David is getting a big old omnibus. I know a lot of people who are excited about that. And especially with his like Hulk series coming out in omnibus, and this one, there's a lot of good content out there for folks who were and are big fans of Peter David. Dynamite doing things that Dynamite do with their multiversal Red Sonja story and some James Bond. Basically, kind of what if James Bond was like a Hydra agent, more or less. Boom has a second printing of Berserker coming out that will be a foil cover. So it'll be this image, but except super shiny. So if you want a good shiny, let us know. Because that one too, we still have copies of the first printing. Doing good. I think what I basically need is more sleep, is what my brain's trying to tell me. Gorilla Green, original graphic novel. This is one of the things that I love about what Boom does, because they start off here with, for fans of Relish, My Life in the Kitchen, comes a new graphic novel from the acclaimed team of Cookie Calcaire and Ophélie Damblay. I am probably getting those names wrong. About a 30-year-old city dweller who's joined the guerrilla gardening movement, fighting for decades to bring more green back into cities that increasingly resemble concrete jungles. Now she's putting the guerrilla's motto into action by reviving the true spirit of her city and showing everybody the true nature of their world. Explore the real world of guerrilla gardening movement that teaches us the principles of making our cities more beautiful and sustainable places, one plant at a time. So yeah, it is more of a real world story about how cities are designed and how they're not always designed with comfort in mind, but with kind of squeezing as much people into an area as possible. I love that the all-in-one pack of the first Magic the Gathering cover is called the Magic Pack. You goofs. But Magic the Gathering is getting a new comic series from good old-fashioned Canadian boy Jed MacKay and Iguara. A new beginning for the pop culture phenomenon Magic starts here. Across the vast multiverse, those gifted with a spark can tap into the raw power of magic and travel across realms. They are planeswalkers. When coordinated assassination attempts on guild masters Ral Zarek, Vraska, and Kaya rock the city of Ravnica and leave Jace Belerin's life hanging in the balance. A fuse is lit that threatens not just these 3 guilds, but the entire plane of Ravnica. Now, these 3 must covertly infiltrate the wild plane of Zendikar and form a tenuous alliance to uncover why the targets of the assassins have all been planeswalkers, which will lead them straight to one of the most enigmatic characters in Magic history. I just reading this, I'm getting wild flashbacks to when we used to carry Magic and when I used to work at Wizards with like Ravnica and Zendikar, just like echoing in my brain. Not necessarily good memories attached to that for myself. However, I understand why folks really love the game and what it brings to people. Quick note, this Magic the Gathering B cover, Hidden Planeswalker variant, is basically a blind pack, and you will get one of 3 different covers in it. You don't know which one, so it's a bit of a secret. All right. I'm super excited for the many deaths of Lila Starr, because Rom V, baby, is writing with Felipe Andrade doing the art. Rom V is the person doing the current Swamp Thing series, which is outstanding, and has done Blue and Green, one of the books that we had signed book plates for. We still have some signed book plates for. And forgetting Graffiti's Wall. Holy crap, is that book outstanding. It's basically 4 characters just trying to make their way and engage with different parts of art that connects with them, while just bad crime stuff happens all around them. It's an absolutely gorgeous looking book. Highly recommend folks check that out. All right. In the meantime, the many deaths of Lila Starr, powerful new series for fans of the Wicked and the Divine and the Dreaming. That's the thing that Boom does all the time. They help pitch the book. That's always good, because sometimes it's hard for us to pitch a book. This is an exploration of the fine line between the living and the dying in Mumbai through the lens of magical realism. With humanity on the verge of discovering immortality, the avatar of death is fired and relegated to the world below to live out her now infinite days in the body of a 20-something Lila Starr in Mumbai. Struggling with her newfound mortality, Lila has found a way to be placed in the time and place where the creator of immortality will be born. But will Lila take her chance to permanently reverse the course of future history, or does a more shocking fate await her? It's be a very interesting story to read. And 7 Secrets is returning. 7 Secrets is a somewhat manga stylized creator-owned book from Tom Taylor and Danielle Nuciolo. That is just like kind of super high octane about this group of folks who tend to these 7 secrets that, if unleashed, could be devastating for all of humanity. That first volume is coming out very soon, and I'm extremely excited. Oh yeah, when I say that, it's because look at that. It's on our F.O.C. right now. Ooh la la. Ooh la la. It's almost as though they want those to come out at about the same time. All right. The Agretsuko comics are continuing. I like that they kind of put out these little mini series and then combine them in a cost-effective graphic novel form for folks who are fans of this series, which I believe is on Netflix over here, about a young fox creature who really likes death metal and has to work a job. It's good times. Alice in Leatherland is on F.O.C. I'm very intrigued by this one. Alice, a young writer of children's storybooks, is hurtled out of her fairy tale like life when she discovers her girlfriend has been cheating on her. Charmingly defiant, she leaves her small forest town and leaps into a new adventure to seek love and find herself in the fast life of San Francisco. There, her concept of pure magical love will be completely overturned. Her biggest challenge won't be reckoning with other people's sexual drive. It'll be getting a grip on her own. From your new favorite writer and artist team. Very nicely done. Yolanda Zanfrandino and Eliza Romboli. Alice in Leatherland is a comedy about sex and inevitably about other aspects of life too. As the creators describe the book, sex is recounted as a way to investigate our relationship with ourselves and others, with our bodies and our place in the world. Sexual pleasure as self-affirmation and growth. There is room for love too, and bravery, and for many good laughs that never hurts. So, it's going to be a very interesting tale. I would suggest it for folks who are into Sunstone that we sell at the store. It's good stuff. A new run of The Sumerian is coming up from Ablaze. These are repurposed from European takes on Conan. As it will always say here, Robert E. Howard's Conan is brought to life uncensored. Discover the true Conan, unrestrained, violent, and sexual. Read the story as he intended. So it's adaptations of the books, and this one is an adaptation of Iron Shadows in the Moon. They, of course, always have a few different covers for that. I don't think there's going to be much more that we end up talking about outside of here. The second issue of Jonah and the Impossible Monsters is out. This definitely has quite feel like Bone from Jeff Smith, about two young women and the larger world around them that is often fantastical and features impossible monsters. There's another Gudetama graphic novel out. If you love stories about a lazy egg creature who just kind of wants to be lazy and left alone, this book is hilarious, and the character is quite big over in Japan and has come over here as well. What else we got here? Lonely Receiver is getting a collection. This was a particular favorite of Danica's. A horror / breakup story in 5 parts. Katrin Vander, a lonely video producer, buys an artificial intelligence partner that's meant to bond for life. But after 10 years together, her holographic wife suddenly disconnects without a warning. The breakup drives Katrin to the point of near insanity. She's alone for the first time in years and reeling from a loss that she can't comprehend. It's basically about this young woman who, believing that this thing she bought was meant to pair with her for life, has to confront maybe some bad parts about herself that drove this AI away, and confront the feelings that are all tied up in with that. We have Project Patron from Aftershock. First issue of that. This is from Steve Orlando and Patrick Piazzalunga. 30 years ago, the world watched in horror as the Patron, a hero sent as humanitarian aid from a different dimension, went punch for punch with Woe, a primordial beast and a perfect match for our mighty protector. In the end, hero and villain alike fell, but Patron returned and continues to defend us to this day. At least that's what we've been told. The truth is, the patron died that day along with Woe. The UN replaced the patron with a Reploid designed to mimic the real patron and continue his mission of protection. Today, the patron Reploid is secretly piloted by an elite team, a team prepared for anything, except for maybe one of death of one of their own. So a bit of a murder mystery with some superheroes. The second volume of Resistance kicks off. This series, the first issue came out just before everything ended up shutting down, I believe, or maybe just after. But the Resistance is about a world where a pandemic blows through the populations. It does kill a lot of people, and then it suddenly stops, and the folks who end up catching this pandemic, brain, end up with powers. And it's basically about a world where our fears are kind of used as the metaphor. Like J. Michael Straczynski, who is the writer of this series, wanted to build sort of like a new superhero universe that's built in with our modern fears, like in surveillance and pandemic stuff. This was before the pandemic really hit, but we'd been getting warnings for years that the next big one is on the way. If we don't do some things to mitigate, it'll be bad for the world. And so he built that in and has built a really fascinating world filled with a lot of interesting characters. So first volume of that is out and is also a scant $13.50 Canadian. Well, I'm going to find out what Sasquatch in Love is about. Let me guess. Yeah. Oh, it's about a Sasquatch in love. A nice all ages graphic novel. An unlikely romantic triangle forms between Lonely Holden, the world's last Sasquatch, Grace, the documentary filmmaker who comes to a small town in rural Oregon to expose him, and Holden's love-scarred best friend Felix, the town veterinarian. So, Sasquatch love stories. I love those. And a collection for the Vein is here. This is one that Danica's quite enjoyed, from Elliot Rahal and Emily Pearson. Chicago, 1941. A blood bank is held up in a robbery, but no cash is taken, only blood. It's the latest of a string of similar robberies, and as the United States prepares to enter World War II, FBI agent Felix Franklin is certain it's part of a wider plot to weaken the United States by depriving it of its blood supply. But the truth is even more sinister. The four robbers are vampires, immortal, physically powerful, and after decades of honing their skills, practically untraceable. But time goes on, and the vampires, who call themselves the Vein, stay the same in a world that is rapidly changing around them. As security measures evolve, stealing blood is harder and harder every day. And with every decade that passes, Agent Franklin gets closer to finding them, capturing them, and ending them. This reminds me of the supernatural take of what Richard Stark or Donald Westlake, same person, he wrote the Parker novels under Richard Stark, did with the Parker character, where all of his old heisting techniques kind of catch up to him as technology goes on, as computers are there, as you can be recorded on camera, as you can't just forge a ID with like enough good pen work like he does in the first novel, and stealing money from banks that way. Like, I like it when it happened there. I like it that they're doing something similar in The Vein. And that is probably going to be it. What are you, Wicca? Immerse yourself in Oliver LeDroit's Lord of the Rings-esque fantasy world from the artist behind Pat Mills's Black Moon Chronicles and Shaw and award-winning writer Thomas Day. After narrowly escaping an uprising that claims the lives of her parents, Wicca, the last of a royal line of fairies, must evade the assassins on her trail long enough to discover the secret of her lineage. The art of that, when you can get a closer look at it, is super, super detailed. So that was what kind of intrigued me and pulled me in there. All right. So for the Resistance, it is a new story arc that's starting in the single issues, but yeah, we do have the first volume hanging out in the store. I do highly recommend it. And yeah, interested in Wicca too. I believe it is more of a novel and not a graphic novel. But I'm gonna do a bit more research on my end for that as well. Wait, what do you got? Oh no, it is a full-on graphic novel. It is a gorgeous full-on graphic novel. Holy. If you go to previewsworld.com /final orders due, and then right at the bottom, click on it. It's got a little thing that says previews preview on it. If you dig in there, click to view the previews preview, it'll show you the first few pages. Oh my goodness, does that look amazing. All right, with that, we're going to head over to our DC releases. The DC stuff, I need to know by Thursday. All the stuff that I just showed you, I need to know by Sunday at 5 p.m. That way we can get working on our F.O.Cs properly and make sure that nobody misses anything when our time is due. So let's get this one. Says it looks detailed like Monstrous. Yeah, it is. It definitely is, except I would say a lot of a brighter palette. But yeah, very, very interested in more, and I'm gonna see if there's any retailer resources available to see if we can get a look at more of the story before we gotta set some final orders. All right, which one do you want? There we go. Get going with that final order cutoff. American Vampire is continuing. We've got the first issue of the Batman and Scooby-Doo Mysteries, of which there will be 12 issues of Batman teaming up with Scooby-Doo. Ivan Cohen doing the writing, Dario Brizuela doing the art. It's an all-new, all-ages series that teams The Dark Knight with Scooby-Doo and the Sleuths of Mystery Incorporated. When Batman discovers his original purple gloves have gone missing, Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby-Doo travel back in time to Batman's Year One era to solve the case. Will this glove story have a happy ending? This glove story. Oh my God. That hit me. We also have the Batman Fortnite story continuing. A thing to know about this coming up is, I believe, the third issue. Batman is going to fight Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. So that's a thing that's going to be happening in comics. In a Fortnite crossover. Wild stuff. Batman the Detective is a new Tom Taylor book with art by Andy Kubert. An epic tale begins that will take Batman on a harrowing, action-packed European adventure in a new miniseries by superstar creators Tom Taylor and Andy Kubert. A horrific tragedy in the United Kingdom sends a very personal and deadly message to the Dark Knight, one that will draw Batman out of Gotham City to investigate. From the moment he lands in Europe, Batman will face a difficult investigation and unheard of adversaries, and find the assistance of a partner once more, all in the hunt for the villain known as Equilibrium. New villains, new allies. A thrilling overseas adventure begins for the Dark Knight, starting with an extra-sized 26-page debut story. So for folks who are looking for first appearances, this is going to be a series to look out for. I personally am very excited to see what Tom Taylor does while tackling Batman. Next week, his first issue of Nightwing hits stands, and I am very excited for that to kind of get out there and into people's eyes, because Tom Taylor is probably one of the best writers in comics today, especially about when it comes to getting you to care about characters and emotions and whatnot. He can do it in the span of a couple panels, as he did with inside Suicide Squad, and would then very shortly like murder a character. You'd be like, oh, I really like, oh no, and you just got to know that character. It's outstanding what he can do with just some simple writing tricks, and ones that aren't cheap either, like, you know, like puppy murder. He's not just like, yeah, just murder puppy, whatever. He does the good emotional work. Challenge of the Super Sons takes place in an era where Jonathan Kent and Damian Wayne are still youths and hanging out. I know a lot of people who are huge fans of the Super Sons. While you're getting some more content here with a new 7-issue miniseries. I have a feeling that we'll be returning to these characters often, as folks love it when they're hanging out. And there's been a few Super Sons series that have kind of, you know, had fun with these characters. So also this cover, he's so pretty. We like Simone DeMeo in this house. Second issue of Joker will be out. So if you enjoyed the series from this week, let us know. If you haven't read Joker, it isn't truly about the Joker. It's more about Jim Gordon and the effects that the Joker sort of has on the world as he tries to chase him down and bring him to justice. Also happening is the second issue of Superman Red and Blue, part of DC's mini anthology series that they've been doing. They've got Batman Black and White, Superman Red and Blue, and they just announced today Wonder Woman Black and Gold, which is really cool. I was hoping that they had the list of creators on this one, but they do not. They just tell me the stories. So I'll try and figure that out for all y'all later. All right. That's probably going to do it for us. The second issue of the new Wonder Woman story is out. This is Wonder Woman in the Norse afterlife. And we going to get some Thor, and we already have I can never pronounce the character's name, but the squirrel character. Here. Ratashok. You might know that character from Squirrel Girl in Marvel. Well, they're over here because Norse mythology is owned by nobody except for maybe the Norse. And yeah, that's it. Thank you all for watching today. Thanks for hanging out with me. Like I said at the top, my brain is in a weird place. It's not sad. It's not mad. But it's somewhat threatening to be. And I don't care for that. Just kind of want to live my life. But yeah, as of right now, I'm just going to do a bit of house cleaning, both home-wise and a little bit of store stuff. And then hopefully kind of relax for an hour or two. And then go nab Danica. Get her home and cook her a good meal. Because she works hard. All right, folks. Thank you all for watching. Our next show is on Monday. That is our Yeggs and Bacon show. Happens also at about 3 o'clock. And then Tuesday we do our new releases show at 8:10 p.m. And then Thursday, as always, we do our best of the week, where we're talking about all the things that we love the most and something that we watched on a free streaming service. I don't think we have our thing picked out this week, so we'll probably let you all know what that is on Monday. And when that goes up, yeah. So thank you all for watching, and we will talk to you all again soon. Bye.